Hey guys, Jay Reale here at ebodyboarding.com to talk about one of the most ubiquitous maneuvers in the sport of bodyboarding, the El Rollo. That's right. How to do an El Rollo. That's what you may be asking yourself. You've come to the right place. Let's first talk about what the El Rollo is. So the El Rollo is essentially, imagine like a corkscrew roller coaster. So you're doing this helix motion. While you're moving forward, you're also going upside down and using that forward speed to keep you sort of glued to your bodyboard, and you'll come back around and land upright and continue on across the wave face. The maneuver was invented by bodyboarding legend from Hawaii, Pat Caldwell, who came up with the maneuver in the late 1970s after reading an article in a surfer magazine called the Three-Dimensional 360. I have linked my interview with Pat on the Real Deal Show podcast above, so you can see him talk about that. Others have claimed to have come up with this maneuver independently of Pat, but Pat is widely regarded as the person who introduced it to the sport of bodyboarding. And thank you for that, Mr. Pat Caldwell. So, this is the legendary Pat Caldwell doing the maneuver at Pipeline, proving that you can do it on big waves, small waves, pretty much any wave. It's if it's done correctly. So here's Pat. You see him at Pipeline, bottom turning up to the lip, lands back on the face with plenty of speed. And legendary pro bodyboarder Mike Stewart, who won 9 titles at the Bonsai Pipeline, doing maneuvers like this. Bottom turn, big Rollo, landing back on the wave face. So how is this maneuver done? Well, let's break it down here, folks. This is Vicky Reale at Waco Surf Wave Pool in Waco, Texas. We do an event there every year. We call it Texas Tube Tour. We take groups of bodyboarders there. We've been doing this since 2020, and we've taken hundreds of bodyboarders there since then. And we'd love to have you join us on one of these trips, whether it be Waco or one of the other trips we do. Just click bodyboarding travel on our website for all the details of all the trips that we do. So Vicky is going to do an El Rollo here, but I have to let you know the key for any bodyboarding maneuver, whether it be the El Rollo or otherwise, 2 things: speed and timing. Speed and timing. So Vicky has a lot of speed on this wave. She's coming across the wave, tons of speed here, and she's already in attack position, eyeballing. Notice her eyes are focused on this part of the wave. Now, this is called the lip of the wave right here, and this is the face of the wave. So for the El Rollo, the optimal place to hit it is where the lip begins to separate from the wave face. And that is determined by the wave speed and the bathymetry. That's the bottom contour. And sort of imagine like walking down a sidewalk and you trip on something. Your upper body lurches forward much faster than your lower body. So that's what happens with the wave. It starts to feel the bottom underneath of it, whether it be sand or reef, and the top part sort of lurches out and forms that pitching lip that we like to see for the best El Rollo scenario here. So Vicky is hard on her inside rail. That's the rail closest to the wave. That's this edge right here. Her elbow is right on the edge to get maximum pressure there. Her outside hand is about halfway down the outside rail, so she has plenty of control here, and she's going to try to time this with all the speed she has so that she cracks that lip right where it begins to separate from the wave face. Now notice right here, she's getting up to the lip, she's keeping her body centered on the board and maintaining her body position, and right when she hits the part where the lip begins to pitch out, you will notice her head and back will arch out. And that is to allow your body weight to get flung out towards the flat part of the wave, the flats as we call it, which is here. This is the landing zone for this maneuver. So you'll see right here, she is arching her head and looking now towards where she wants to land. Her eyes are focused on that landing zone. Her arms are extended, but her body weight is still centered over the board, and her lower half is embedded in the lip. So she's letting the lip, the pitching lip of the wave, do the work of flinging her down towards the landing zone. Now, right here, you see arms extended, board out in front of her. That is to give herself a little more surface area to manage this landing, which is going to be pretty hard because it's pretty flat right there on this wave. Now, right here, she's a little bit nose heavy and the nose submerges, but she manages to pull it up with that front hand and keep the nose from submerging, and regains her riding position to maintain speed out of the maneuver. Another wave, very similar one. This one she hits a little bit later, which enables her to have a little smoother landing. She goes up to the lip. Again, all her weight on that inside rail to drive up to the top. And right as she gets to the top here, she goes as high as she can. Look at her head, back, arm extended, head back, back arched, to fling herself out into the flat part of the wave in front of the wave to land the maneuver. Now, right here, you see her eyeballing that landing zone. Her eyes are focused right on this section here where she's going to land the maneuver, and her lower half is embedded in the wave face, which is going to help, the wave's going to help her maintain this rotational move. And now she's coming down, arms extended, again, to manage that landing with the most surface area she can so she doesn't submerge on the landing. Now, here's a water view. This is obviously at the beach, not in a wave pool, but Vicky has a GoPro in her mouth. And again, she's on the wave, and she's going to look for this section here where the lip begins to separate from the wave face. And she's going to go right up to the top. She's maintaining her body position centered over the board. She hits the top and flings her head back, arches her back, and notice the arm extended right there. Keeps the board centered, and she makes it around, lands the maneuver back on the wave face, and continues down the line to see what else this wave's going to offer up. Here's me at the same spot. I'm in the tube. And right here, I'm going to lay really hard on that inside rail. I'm pulling up on the corner of the nose with my front hand and pulling up on the outside rail with my back hand to get up to the lip quickly. And right here, I time it right as that lip begins to pitch. And watch that. Throw the head back, arch the back, arm extended, and eyeball the landing zone, keeping the board under me, and pull it off and continue down the line. Now here's Vicky with a lot of speed on this wave. She's really going fast. You can tell that's evident by just the tiniest bit of her board connected to the wave face on this one. She bottom turns with a ton of speed, hits a little bump there, but still manages to maintain her line to the lip of the wave right as it's separating from the wave face. The pitching lip, she actually has to punch through the lip on this one, but that offers her a nice soft landing on this one, and she continues across the wave. Now, there are variations on this. You can do a roll out of the bowl, as I call it. So if you're in the tube, you can pull in the tube, get that speed going, and eyeball that section as you come out of the tube where you want to hit the lip and do the Rollo. Right here, you'll see me drop my chest down to compress myself onto that inside rail. I have to do it quick because this is a very small wave and it's about to end, but I'm compressed way down the wave. That really digs my rail in and gets me up to the lip quickly. And already I'm uncompressing, arching my back, tilting my head back, and extending my arms, and continuing that roll motion. Now, if the wave is smaller, sometimes you have to use your legs and swim fins to aid that rotational movement because the wave isn't pitching as much, doesn't have quite as much power. But right here, notice my board and body, my body centered over my board, and I come down, nice landing on the inside rail, and I regain my body position to continue the ride here as the wave dies out. Another view, similar wave, not the same one, but a similar one. I disappear for a second in the tube, and I see this wave slowing down, so I start bottom turning already as I'm coming out of the tube. And same deal, I go right up to the top, punch through the lip, and keep my body centered over the board and land with enough speed to cram in one more maneuver at the end. Now, you can certainly do Rollos on small waves, as you've just seen. You can do them on big waves, as we saw at the beginning of this video. And some people will actually do Rollos on little foam balls. So the lip isn't actually pitching. We call that an el floppo usually, and sometimes people will do that in a competition when they're trying to cram in a few more points. Any way you slice it, it is a maneuver that you definitely want to add to your repertoire. And it'll make you a better bodyboarder to keep trying this maneuver and working on that speed and timing. Those are the key factors to pull off this maneuver. So go out there and give the El Rollo a shot. Enjoy.